I'm Jay Bucky, and welcome to my music studio. This video presentation was prepared to supplement the book Bluegrass Banjo, the first one in that series that has an audio play-along CD. So as I go through this material, references will be made to that book, so you'll want to have that to follow along. Now, if you can find a regular teacher nearby in your area that really plays bluegrass banjo and understands this music, you're blessed, and you want to take some real lessons from a real teacher. Unfortunately, they're not that easy to find, and if you don't have a good bluegrass banjo teacher in your area, I think you'll find this video, along with the Bluegrass Banjo series and the audio play-along CDs, just about the next best thing to learning how to play the banjo. You're going to have questions as you follow along in the material, and many of them will probably be answered as we go through this material. So just be patient and grab your banjo. We've got a lot of material to cover, and let's get started playing Bluegrass Banjo. There are a variety of banjos that you could use to play. The one that we want to use has 5 strings. There is a 4-string banjo, but I would recommend that you look for a 5-string to play real bluegrass. They could be adjusted, but you have this 5th string here at the top, coming at about the 5th fret on the neck, and the neck is actually carved wider at that point. There's more wood to it, and to make an adjustment to a 4-string banjo neck is almost impossible because there's not enough room for that 5th string. So you want a 5-string banjo. Now there's different kinds of 5-string banjos. There are some that are real light and some that are heavier. This is a Gibson banjo, and they're generally heavier because there's a tone ring on the inside of this made out of brass that gives the banjo the volume and the sustain that you hear that's classic with this kind of music. A less expensive banjo, I don't want to use the word cheap because all banjos are nice, will be a lot lighter because it doesn't have this brass tone ring in there. Usually it's aluminum or it could be wood. That will still work for what we want to do for our playing, but in time you're going to want a better banjo. And generally if it's heavier, it's going to be a better instrument. Now, when you get your banjo, you're going to want to put a strap on it. There's different kinds of straps. This one has a little attachment. We hooked it to the bracket down here. These are called the brackets, and it can be taken apart with this little clip like that and adjusted. It makes it easy to get in and out of the case. Other straps, more fancier ones made out of leather, will actually weave inside these brackets as actually holding the banjo like a cradle. In fact, some of them are called the cradle strap, and that's nice too because it gives a nice balance to the banjo. The main thing with the strap, there's 2 things that this does. First off, most importantly, it holds the banjo into place. In other words, you don't want to have to hold the banjo with your left hand, because if you do, then it's going to slow you down getting chords and notes and that type of thing. You want the strap to hold the banjo into place so you can take your left hand away and it still remains. If you take your left hand away and your neck starts doing this, then you need a strap. Now if you have a strap and the neck is still doing this, you need to tighten it up. I like to have my strap and my banjo set so that it sits in my lap with a little pressure on my neck here, but not too much. And then when I go to stand up, you see how it maintains the same level. You don't want the banjo to drop with your strap. So you'll just have to experiment with that. But that's basically how a strap works. And it holds that banjo in place so not only the left hand is free, but the right hand can move around as well. The only part of the banjo that you really want to touch with your right will be that forearm. So the strap will hold that into place, and you can take both hands away, see, and your banjo stays in one place. That's using the strap. The left hand thumb should be behind the neck, and I'll move around here so you can see that. Sometimes I keep my thumb flat against the neck like this. Other times it'll curl around. It really depends on what my fingers are doing. If I'm doing chords or if I'm playing down the neck. When you come up to this fifth string, that thumb, if it's like this, is going to have to come back behind the neck either way. On the front side, where the fingers are at, that thumb will act as counter pressure on those fingers so that everything stays in one spot. Try not to keep your palm up next to the neck. Keep it back. There should be a little space between the neck and your palm. Try not to keep your wrist from bending up like this. You want to keep it down, almost in a very relaxed position. So thumb behind the neck. You want to curl your fingers around. Notice how I curl those? You don't want them down flat unless you're playing maybe a special chord like a bar chord. But the fingers should curl around, each one at one of the knuckles, straight down on the string, and the finger should actually come down directly on top of the string. You want to try not to touch two strings with one finger. And also notice that the finger comes up very, very close to the fret. You don't want the finger back too far, because then you'll get like a dead tone or a buzzing tone. Get it up close to the fret without actually being on the fret. And you'll get a really nice tone out of that. Very clean sounding.